Tori Spelling's reflections on her brief but memorable encounter with Charlie Sheen in the mid-1990s offer a fascinating glimpse into the whirlwind world of young Hollywood, where glamour and chaos often intertwined in unexpected ways, revealing both the allure and the dangers lurking beneath the surface of celebrity life. As the daughter of legendary producer Tori Spelling, Tori was no stranger to the glittering excesses of the entertainment industry from an early age, having grown up amidst the opulent sets of shows like Dynasty and Beverly Hills 90210, where she would later star as Donna Martin, becoming a household name for a generation of teens navigating the complexities of friendship, romance, and self-discovery. Yet, even in this privileged bubble, her date with Sheen, a fellow rising star known for his roles in films like Wall Street and Platoon, as well as his notorious off-screen antics, stood out as a pivotal moment, blending intellectual spark with a sobering brush with the law that tested her boundaries and loyalties. The evening began innocently enough, orchestrated by a mutual friend named Kevin, who was crashing at Tori's place during that tumultuous period in the mid-90s when both actors were carving out their paths in Tinseltown. Kevin, ever the social connector, suggested a casual group outing to a cozy Italian restaurant tucked away in the heart of Beverly Hills, a neighborhood synonymous with old-school Hollywood elegance and discreet celebrity sightings. Joining them were Kevin's parents, adding a layer of familial normalcy to what could have otherwise spiraled into a tabloid-worthy escapade. Tori, then in her early 20s and still finding her footing post-90210, arrived with a mix of curiosity and caution, drawn by Sheen's reputation as a magnetic performer whose charisma could light up a room, or as events would unfold, ignite a firestorm of controversy. What unfolded over plates of pasta and glasses of red wine was not the wild party tale one might expect from Sheen's lore, but rather a surprisingly grounded conversation that peeled back layers of the man behind the headlines. From the moment they sat down, Tori found herself captivated by Sheen's mind, describing him in later recountings as unimaginably intelligent, a descriptor that cuts through the noise of his public persona as the hard-partying scion of actor Martin Sheen. He was charming in that effortless way only true stars possess, weaving stories with a wit that kept the table in stitches, his humor sharp yet self-deprecating, revealing a vulnerability that contrasted sharply with his on-screen bravado. They talked about everything from the pressures of nepotism, both being second-generation talents grappling with their father's legacies, to the absurdities of auditions and the thrill of landing that one role that changes everything. For Tori, who had spent her childhood eavesdropping on script readings in her family's Beverly Hills mansion, this exchange felt like a rare validation, a good moment, where she could connect with someone who truly understood the double-edged sword of fame. Sheen, fresh off the critical acclaim of Hot Shots, Part 2 and navigating the fallout from his high-profile relationships, matched her energy with anecdotes that were equal parts insightful and irreverent, turning what could have been a superficial meet-cute into a genuine intellectual rapport. As the night wore on, the conversation deepened, touching on dreams and insecurities that few outsiders ever glimpsed. Tori later shared how Sheen's insights into the craft of acting, drawing from his theater roots and early Broadway stints, left her pondering her own trajectory, wondering if she could ever escape the shadow of her father's empire. It was a fleeting but formative connection, one that highlighted Sheen's lesser-known side, the thoughtful conversationalist who could dissect a scene's subtext with the precision of a surgeon. Yet even in this idyllic setting, hints of the storm clouds gathering around Sheen seeped through, subtle mentions of his demanding schedule and the toll it took, which Tori now recognizes as early warning signs of the personal demons that would soon dominate his narrative. The group date ended on a high note, with laughter echoing into the balmy California evening, leaving Tori with a sense of possibility and Sheen with, perhaps, a brief respite from his unraveling life. But the story doesn't end with dessert and goodbyes. It veers sharply into darker territory just months later, when the specter of federal authorities cast a long shadow over their shared social circle. By late 1996, Sheen was a man on the run, wanted by U.S. Marshals for allegedly assaulting his then-girlfriend, actress Brittany Ashland, in a domestic dispute that escalated into a full-blown manhunt. The incident, which unfolded in a haze of reported substance-fueled rage, painted Sheen as a fugitive from justice, his face splashed across news outlets alongside warnings of his volatility. Enter Kevin once more, now thrust into the role of reluctant accomplice, pounding on Tori's door in a panic with a proposition that blurred the lines between friendship and felony. Hide Sheen in her laundry room, accessible via the discreet service elevator of her upscale building, to evade the feds closing in. Tori's recounting of this moment is laced with a mix of disbelief and resolve, her voice steady as she recalls the absurdity of the ask. "Are you f***ing kidding me? No. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I think he's a really great guy, she shot back, her words a firm boundary in the face of mounting pressure. At that juncture, Tori was still the wide-eyed ingenue, more accustomed to dodging paparazzi than harboring wanted men, and the request struck her as not just reckless but a betrayal of the trust she'd built in her carefully curated world. The laundry room, with its humming dryers and stacks of linens, suddenly loomed as a symbol of complicity, a hidden nook that could shield a friend but shatter her own burgeoning career. Sheen, holed up somewhere in the vicinity, was eventually apprehended right there in the building, his arrest a chaotic climax that made headlines and left Kevin seething with guilt-tripping recriminations. "You could have changed everything," he lamented, as if Tori's refusal was the linchpin in Sheen's spiraling fate. Years later, Sheen himself immortalized the episode in his memoir, a raw confessional that pulled no punches about his rock-bottom years. In its pages, he mused on Tori's steadfast "no," speculating with a touch of wry hindsight that her acquiescence might have altered the course of his story, perhaps delaying the inevitable reckoning or buying him time to seek help amid the wreckage. For Tori, reading those words was a surreal full-circle moment, validating her instincts while underscoring the fragility of those early Hollywood bonds. Sheen's reflection wasn't accusatory but appreciative, acknowledging the wisdom in her choice and the role it played in his eventual path to sobriety and redemption. Today, both actors look back on that chapter with a measure of forgiveness, Tori emphasizing Sheen's humanity amid the headlines, and Sheen crediting boundary setters like her for the tough love that propelled his recovery.